Right.
Like, where were you?
Yeah.
Right.
But I wasn't angry like that as a kid because I had my grandfather and because I had my stepdad who did absolutely everything.
Right.
I don't feel like I missed anything from my childhood. It wasn't until I was an adult and had experience being a parent myself where I really was like, you really ain't shit. Like, and now you want to call me and reach out.
At this time.
At this time, though.
For sympathy.
Right. Or because you want to clear your conscience.
Right.
And
I was going to say it could be just
I don't think it was.
I
don't think it was sympathy. I think it was you're knocking on death's door and you don't want to get to the gates of heaven and have somebody look at you and say, you know, why should I have mercy on you as my child when you didn't take care of your own?
Sometimes I wonder what that mindset is about. Like, what really, to know that you got a kid out here and just be like, nope. And then to go build with somebody else.
Yeah. I have a brother that is 7 days younger than me.
Yeah.
And he ended up marrying my brother's mom.
Yeah.
And then I have a brother that's 5 years younger than us. At the funeral, I found out I had another brother. So when I think about the type of man that he was, I really don't feel like I missed out on anything. Because in hearing the experience of what my brothers went through, he was in the house, but he wasn't in there. The house. Like, he couldn't find his way home.
Yeah.
So when I think about the experience that I had my dad, my stepdad, who I called my dad, was there every night. We had dinner together every night. He did what he was supposed to do. He didn't miss a dance recital, a soccer game, a music recital. He was shuffling kids back and forth to the mall, doing all that stuff that my biological father was supposed to do, but he didn't even do for the kids that he had living in his home with him. So when I think about it as an adult and process it, I don't really miss anything. And that's why I think I can say my son is better right now at this moment to not have his father
might just cause
completely
damage.
Present, because it could be damaging at this point.
Yeah. That's like with the twins' dad. He's not relevant. And so he got somebody pregnant 5 weeks after me. And then same thing. He decided he wanted to be with her. So I had the twins 2 months early. And so our kids are really like 5 weeks apart, just a couple months apart. And he is in that baby's life every day. Sees him. My girls, they don't even know who he is. Like, when he does decide, like, oh, let me get him. The last time I went to bring him to him, they, like, when I say they screamed, like when he tried to pick them up at the car, they were like,
but babies
hollering.
Still be attached to that source energy.
Yeah.
And they probably just know, like, yo, you not for me. Like, what do you think? Did he ever explain why he chose to be with somebody else?
No, he lied about it. He still be lying to this day. He act like he not together. Like, dude, it's clear. Like, I done seen y'all in the grocery store twice shopping.
It wasn't me though.
Nah,
it's my hologram.
I almost went to jail that day. I was on some other stuff.
How do you think? So I know for me and my siblings, like, it was hard for us to maintain a relationship or even have a relationship, because at first I was jealous that our dad had been with them. Right. And it wasn't, and I mean, we've had a relationship. I've always known who my brothers were. We would see each other when they were in town. It wasn't until our other brother just popped up out of the woodwork that I really felt like I don't really have anything to be jealous about. But it made the brothers that I knew about, the three of us, it made it hard for me to have a relationship with them, knowing that he chose to be with somebody else. Do you have a fear of, or what, how would you want their relationship to be with their sibling?
It's so hard to answer that question because of the mom. It's like, I'm grown. Like, I'm so grown. I don't have an issue with it. Like, but she's younger. And so she has the mentality, oh no.
You got to taxify.
She has the mentality, decline. She has the mentality of, Apple, you have to just push it.
Oh, I'm about to say, they're persistent. They're persistent. They won't even let me hang up on them.
She has the mentality of, I don't even know how you describe it, but, like, mind you, we were pregnant together. I was pregnant with twins. She didn't want him to come around me, be around me, nothing.
That's a control thing, though. But, like, when a man will watch a woman carry a baby and then deliver a baby. The fact, especially that he was with you before
Prior,
being with
3
her,
years. Yeah.
him
Not long.
sharing in that experience with you and witnessing that experience may have changed his feelings for her. And
Yeah.
so that's it's immature, but
Yeah. So he she doesn't want him to be apart. So he chooses not to be apart.
because of her influence.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, it's weird. I don't know. It's just kind of like, so I wouldn't mind the kids hanging out. I know I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little fearful just because she's so jealous that it makes me kind of scared that she might try to do something to my kids because of her feelings. But
That's crazy. That type of stuff, you can run from it for so long, but those type of vibes, they always come back around like 27, 30, where you're trying to find yourself. So you looking back to see where you came from, and then these stories, you end up coming across the stories that you just feel the rejection. How do and it's just like prolonged resentment that your kids gonna have for you, especially if maybe they looked up to you until that point they found out the truth.
right.
It's just like, this is bad. But what is that type of rejection? How do you interface with like your boyfriend or new people? How does that?
What do you mean, like with like me as an adult?
Yeah.
Having experienced that. I looking back, I have been a little savage emotionally. Like I will cut somebody off like quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm not very forgiving.
Yeah.
And I always say I don't hold a grudge, but I don't forget shit. Like I may not be mean to you or go out of my way to be, to let you know that I'm upset. But I don't, if I said it once or you did something I don't like, I may not even tell you did something I don't like. I just keep going and keep it moving. So I think when it comes to relationship, that communication is not, I don't have a fear of being rejected, but I do feel like I'm not going to stay in a situation that I think may end up having me feel hurt.
So is it like heavily guarded?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because my little sister posted this thing on Instagram today, and it said, "Heal so you don't mistake your insecurities for your intuition." And I thought that was so profound because it's like it's just crazy because like dealing with the guy I'm dealing with now, it's amazing how habitual we are. You know what I'm saying, as human beings. And if you don't fully heal from something, you can get into a situation, and because something might seem
or trigger you into thinking about the last,
right?
Yeah,
somebody might not be able to answer their phone, or they're going through something, so they're busy. But in your mind, because this other person left, or they did this, or oh my God, it's starting again. He's leaving. Oh no, what's happening? Like you can literally start to go crazy. Like so, you have to. Healing is so important, but it's hard. It's definitely hard.
I think that circles back around to you having a village or a support system, because if I wasn't allowed or given the space to work through the issues that I had and still have someone there that's the support person for my child, I would still be carrying that. And that's too heavy to carry. You're already carrying everything else as a single parent.
Right.
You're already carrying the majority of the responsibility if you're the custodial parent. So to also have your own personal baggage to drag alongside, and on the other side is your child, and you're just trying to get through, it can be too much. And something has to be left to the side, and it can't be my child. So I need to go figure out why I'm always frustrated, or why I'm always angry, or why I don't trust anybody, so that I can move forward and leave that on the side in the past.
And a lot of people don't have that support system. Right. Like I didn't. I did not have a support system at all. Like when me and my ex-husband split, like my family, like I was sad, like not eating. They was like, get over there. Like, okay, he don't want to be with you. Bye, move on. I'm like, no, like that's not how it works. Like, oh well, like You know, so that's, you know, even with their dad, my biological dad was actually down here after I gave birth, and he would get so frustrated because he would see me, like he could see the depression on me and see me in the house, and he would just be like, "They don't want you, just move on." And it's like,
that don't help.
That does not help. You like,
yeah.
Like, you know, that don't make you feel good.
I think
so
that, you know, it's always you have to be strong. You have to.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Right.
I'm in a moment of weakness right now. I don't need you to look at me and say, "Get over it."
Yeah.
I need you to look at me and say, "What can I do to help you
get through this?"
You can't cook tonight. I'm gonna drop something off. He needs to go to baseball. Let me take him, and you go do whatever you need to do. There's no reason that you should have to go through that and then somebody not recognize your feelings, somebody not recognize that you are hurting. If you are hurting, then your child is going to be hurting. If you are angry and frustrated all the time, you take that out on your children. And so if you are not healed, if you are not whole, if you are not present, if you are not okay, there is no way that your child can be
right.
okay.
That's what I was saying. I had my daughter tell me a couple months ago, like, I am so glad that you got the new guy. And she was like, and I'm so glad you don't like their dad anymore. And I was like, why you say that? And she was like, just because you're happy again.
Yeah.
And that was a tough moment for me, because it was like, I thought I was masking it well. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Kids
like,
know.
Kids
yeah,
know. They were in your
saying, it's about
womb.
your
They feel your
vibration.
energy.
Right,
They feel
right.
that. It's just like when a baby can feel that you're upset.
Yes.
Why do we think that a kid would outgrow that? They can feel when you're upset. They know
Right.
when you're sad and when you're angry, and they know in how you treat them, how you talk to them, how you move and how you act. Are you smiling? Are you laughing?
Yeah.
They feel that. Just
They
like
pass
you
through
said.
your vibration.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like they vibrate. You the tuning fork for their vibration. Just because they pass through you. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
With you having such a big male support system, how does the guy even feel like how does he even get away with that? They ain't like
It was rough to start with. To this day, I would still be afraid to have him and my father in the same room. It was always an issue how close my family was and the support system that I had, because he didn't have that. And so his idea of what a family unit looked like was like the Cosbys. Like, and we've had this conversation recently that he didn't appreciate my family, what they did for us, because he wasn't used to that. It was like he just rejected it. His family was chaotic, and it was one of those, like, my mom's, you know, sister is really her cousin, or, you know, whatever, because grandma raised the baby, because her mom dropped her off, so her auntie's really, you know, her mom's really her aunt, you know, and so it was just confusing.
Tyler Perry.
tuned to a certain frequency.
Yeah.
Right.
Chaos
So he couldn't understand.
He couldn't.
He gonna reject it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our bonds, and he rejected it.
But that's the same thing that can happen through a relationship like that. The female could reject somebody who's trying to help that comes after the person who already hurt.
Yeah.
So it's just like, he probably create chaos wherever he goes.
Yep.
Just because
He does.
And that's
he
funny.
don't have
And that
nothing.
we've had that conversation recently.
That's the situation that happened with their dad. He's used to that chaotic
And so he
lifestyle,
creates it.
and so it was like, for me, it was just kind of like, because I've outgrown that. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that chaos when I was younger, and I'm more like, I know what a healthy relationship looks like. I know what's toxic. I know what's not toxic. So this was like, hold on, this, I love you, dude, but yo, like, this don't
It's
feel
not
real
good
good.
for you.
But
Yeah.
the other baby mama that's her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's why
they're
he
on
jail
the
with that
same.
frequency.
Yeah, like, it feels good to him. Like, they fight all the time, and it's so crazy because I even told myself, like, bro, like, let them have that. Like, you've been here, done that. You don't need to go through that again. Like, let it.
But see, there's things you could tell them all day long. Like, I could
Let's
tell
push
my
that.
husband or
Okay,
ex,
but-
whatever, all day long, they love you because you're an extension of me and they love me. So what they're doing is not in spite of anything that you're trying to do. It's to help both of us get to where we need to be.
Right.
And he could not see that and understand that, and it wasn't until like 2 or 3 weeks ago when we had the conversation, and he was just talking out the blue and called me and was like, you know, I see it now. And he only sees it now because he sees what they do for my son in his absence,
Yeah.
which in his words, made him feel like even more of an asshole. So they didn't even have to be verbal about how they felt about him.
Yeah, that's the coldest.
He sees it in what they do for him and for me. Like, I would not be able to have the job that I have. There's no way. I have to be at work at 7. He has to be on the bus at 7:50. So there's no way I could get him on a school bus, go to work for 12 hours, come home, do homework, get him to baseball, make sure he ate, make sure he packed his book bag and packed his lunch. There's no way I could do all of those things in a day without someone being there.
Right.
And so they don't have to say anything to him. They don't have to speak ill of him. They don't even have to speak ill towards him. He knows all of what they do. And so I think that's even more of that speaks more in volume than what any words that they could say towards him is what's in their actions. And he recognizes that.
That's probably what really kill somebody. Like,
yeah.
where nobody, because you only act out of chaos so somebody will confront you with structure, I feel like. And when nobody is even trying to save you from your own chaos, like, he realized, like, I could have been cut in on that structure.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody's even stopping my chaos. It's just like nobody cared. That's dangerous. Like, man.
So that's why there's just a lot of arguments that I choose
to
not to have with him.
And I
but
get
it took me a while to get to that point.
point.
I had to heal in order to get to that point because in the very beginning when we first separated, that's all it was chaos. I fed into his chaos and he just, I mean, he was living his life. He didn't know he was continuing to throw chaos my way. But I allowed for him to have so much control over what I thought and how I felt and how I acted towards him, towards our son, just in life in general. I was pissed. I was frustrated. I was mad. I had to heal and take away all of those feelings that I had towards him about how I felt about him as a man and as a husband, and look at the situation objectively to say, what do I need to do to allow for him to still be a father? Because that opportunity was not taken away from me to form my own opinion of my father. So I'm not going to take that away from my child.
Right.
So if that means I can't talk to you on the phone, okay, Elijah, you have a cell phone. So he's had a phone since he was 6. You can text, call, FaceTime anytime you want before 7 p.m. because then you got to go to bed. You want to see him on a Tuesday and you weren't supposed to see him till Thursday? Nope, come on and get him. You need to talk to your dad today? You don't want to talk to me? Okay, go get the phone and talk to your dad.
See.
Okay, let's send out the soccer schedule, baseball, football. What game can you come to? These are the Saturdays I have to work. Can you be here on those days? So what do I need to do to look at the situation objectively to make it work?
Yeah.
Because if you just live in a place where you're just in your feelings about the situation and you don't take time to figure out your feelings and deal with the situation, that's where you'll live and that's where you'll stay. And I was miserable in that place. And I had to let that go because then it started to flow into other areas of my life. Yeah. And we are no longer a unit or an item. So there's nothing, you don't need to have any control over any aspect of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So if that means that I need to go to therapy and work this shit out, then that's what I'm going to do so that I can continue to work and live and parent the way that I want to.
Right.
It's
true.
Were you about to add in on that?
I was, but I forgot what I was about to say. I was gonna say, and see that was beautiful in your situation because your son's old enough to communicate himself,
right? Which is
when me and my other kid's dad split, they were a little bit older, but it's like with my girls now, they can't talk, they can't dial no phone, so they can't get on the phone and be like, hey. But then it's also like, it's almost like I would rather you just choose what you're gonna do. Are you gonna be here or not? If you choose, like, I feel like if he was to say today, like, look, I'm gonna be out for the game, like, just raising without me, I'll sign away my rights. But like, I would be able to handle that better than.
But why do you have to wait for him to say it? You can see it in his actions. Well, I would have made that choice for him.
See it. He pops in and out. It's like 1 week.
He wants to do something. The
1
next
month.
Week he don't.
1 month.
So as a mom, that whole mama bear, like, I'm protective. So it doesn't matter who you are. You could be his father. I've cut his grandmother off. You're not going to be here on birthdays and Christmas. So if that's the only time that you're going to talk to him, then stay off of his phone. So if I have to cut off his grandmother, bye-bye. If I have to cut you
Bye,
off,
Granny.
bye-bye. So you either make this decision right now, or I will make it for you. Because what you're not going to do is continue to come in and out as you please and do what you want. Just like you're going to hold him accountable with child support, you hold him accountable for whether or not he's going to see them or not. You only get so many chances. I don't care if you're the father or not. So, and that may go back to how I feel about relationships, but in any relationship, because if I think it would even matter more so to me if it was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
If I allow for this person to do as they please and come in and out of their life over and over and over again, what am I showing them about relationships, consistency, loyalty, family, love?
Consistency is so important.
What am I teaching them?
Mm-hmm.
So no, you can't do that, boo.
Right.
So if you're choosing through your actions to be with your girlfriend, that's your choice.
Right.
You're choosing to raise that child, that also is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
But know that there are consequences for the choices that you make.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and continue to allow them to be available to you
whenever you feel like it's okay. Or when y'all off.
Now, the one thing, my ex may not have always been there financially, and that I could deal with that because he was there physically and emotionally.
Right. And
so that's where that balance was. And so had he chosen to not do either, I would have made the choice for him that, okay, well, we've tried this for 6 months and it ain't working. Don't come back in 2 years. Right. Don't come back when he's 10. Don't come back when he's 13. He left. We were split before he started kindergarten. And I was like, either you going to be here or you not. So, but again, making that choice, I had to look at the situation objectively and without feelings. And I think sometimes we as adults will tie a feeling to our decisions that we make. Yeah. And so if I held on to those feelings of, I did love him at one point, maybe this, maybe that. Mm-hmm. No, you have to look at it objectively.
Where is it right now?
Where is it right now? And where do I see this going? A lot of times they say women will fall in love with a man his potential, and not what he's actually doing. If I see what you're doing and I don't like it,
bye boy. Yeah, it's like, see, I guess my only thing with making the choice for him is I don't want my girls to grow up and be like, you told him you didn't let him be a part of our, you know what I'm saying? Like, although it would be an excuse, it was still like, well, I don't want the truth.
Yeah, for it to be your fault.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
I feel that. Like, everybody should be able to get it, have their own space to make their own decisions.
Yeah,
and come to a conclusion. I know you got to leave out. We've been.
I got like 10 more minutes.
You got like 10 more minutes. Yeah. One thing I want to talk about before we leave. Speaking to all the single parents out there, whether you be a male or female, what do you do to decompress? How do you find the time? Because a lot of times you need time to yourself to work on yourself. But while you trying to give somebody balance and raise them, how do you find time to hide away and get balance yourself and just recoup and recover? Because you need to be charged if you're going to charge somebody else's battery.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get somebody a pointer on how they can find time to relax, to be able to do the best job they can do.
I'd say one thing I learned is purposeful mindfulness.
Yeah, I was just going to say
mindlessness.
Meditation.
Instead of constantly having to go and do. I think one thing that I personally dealt with is, you go through situations in life, you have people who are going to pass away, you have the end of relationships, you have people who are very dear to you that situation may change, and having to figure out those feelings and emotions, and sometimes dealing with things like depression and anxiety and all of that stuff that comes at you with life, and having to figure all of that out and still parent. I have to have meaningful mindlessness where I'm literally not thinking about another person, I'm not thinking about my child, I'm not worried about what it is that I'm doing, and taking that moment to recharge myself. Mm-hmm. Some people, they choose to go out. Some people, a lot of times extroverts, they, will go to a club to recharge and, relax or whatever and hang out with friends. If you're an introvert, you may want to book in a bubble bath. Figuring out what recharges you and what type of person you are so that you can do that and schedule that time in for yourself to do that. A lot of times you get caught up with running a kid back and forth here and going to work, and then, you get them in the bed, and then you go straight to bed, and then you get up the next day and do the same thing, and you get into that pattern in your habit, and then but you're not taking the time to recharge yourself. Sleeping is not recharging. But being awake and being present in a moment where you're taking that moment just for you, whether that be you went out and had a girls' night, or you went and got yourself a hotel room, or stayed at home and sent the kids somewhere, and just took that moment for yourself, is really important, I think, to figure out what recharges you and making sure you make time to do that.
What's one of your favorite things to do?
Personally, yeah. I will go and get a hotel room for myself. I don't invite anybody. My son will go to my mother's, and I will go sit somewhere, preferably somewhere with room service, and a big bathtub, and just go and be by myself.
Another way you can do that, I don't know if the prices is comparable, but one thing I learned is if you go to the hospital, the ER, and say, if you tell them your heart hurt, they will hold you. And sometimes being in that room by yourself, just flicking through channels.
No, I don't want to be there. I work there, so no, that wouldn't work.
No.
All the people in relationships where you like, man, she gonna check my phone too. Go to an ER, tell them you having problems, your heart is palpitating, and you feel short of breath. They will keep you overnight, and they will give you, if you get there early enough, you can get you 2 meals in. And now you can get unlimited food. Mine is the cheeseburger. That's my favorite thing to get when I'm trying to escape.
So silly.
What about you, Rodnika? What do you like to do to escape?
I do a lot of meditation. That's probably that's my new vice, I shall say.
That's what's up.
Yeah, is meditating. I think that's been the most benefit for me. I used to go out, or I used to just be super like a real live wire, like so busy. I would just always have to be somewhere. Like when it was time for me to sit still, like I had so much resistance against sitting still, and I think that was because I didn't want to process the feelings. I think I was trying to like,
if I keep
moving,
I can avoid myself.
I can, yeah, because that when I started meditating, it was probably the hardest thing for me to do, was to sit with myself. I'm like, damn, I see why my relationships be stressful, because I can't sit with myself. I expect somebody else.
Hey, that's real.
I can't. I still can't do that.
Yeah, like it's gotten so much easier. But now I look forward to those times where I'm like, they sleep. I'm about to bathroom for 5 minutes. Like it feels so good. Like my kids even know, the older ones, they'll know too. Like, you about to meditate? Okay, I'll come back. I already know you about to be in here for a second, but
that's live.
And teaching them too, like teaching them, teaching them how to give themselves their self time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that mindfulness. But that's what I do. I meditate.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate y'all coming out. Tell people, Dominique, tell them if you want them to keep up with you. Tell them how they can keep up with you. Hey,
not at all.
I feel it. She got
I don't want nobody to be fanning me.
Right. I got a family to talk to, man.
Right.
What do you want to tell people how they can keep in touch
Y'all
with you?
know how to get in touch with me. _center_stage on IG. _center_stage on Snapchat, and Rodnika Palmer on Facebook, but I don't be on there. But y'all can drive me.
Yeah, man, Facebook is throwback, man. That's
man, right. That's
dinosaur, man. That's where the sad go to die.
Ancient.
I hate Facebook.
Me too.
It's just when you press the Facebook button, you get sad instantly. You just like, I know I'm about to see something terrible.
I don't know. All I have is Facebook. I don't do Snapchat or Instagram.
What? Girl, I love Snapchat.
Hey, I feel you.
I don't really... if I know you and you see me,
hey.
That's it. If I don't know you,
hey. That's that peace right there. That's that peace of mind right there.
Yeah. I never, like, I used to be confused as to how people were introverts. Because I used to be like, how can you just, like, not, how is that peaceful? Like, you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have, but now I get it. It's like,
your circle is small.
Yes,
my
I get it.
Small and strong and dependable.
Period. Yeah. Yes.
I don't need
nobody.
I don't need nobody.
We all need somebody.
We all need somebody. But
I don't need none of them folks.
Yeah.
No new friends. No new
Right.
friends. No.
Hey, if a new friend is coming bringing something that you can grow from,
That
man,
energy.
take
Yeah,
that new friend.
for sure.
Don't listen to Drake because he got tons of fans and friends. He out here
Friends.
purping. He bad as Beyonce telling y'all to be single, then she went and got married and had a gang of kids, man. If y'all want to keep up with me, man, my name is Six. You can catch me. You can catch the show on Facebook at Nomtombout, NOMTOMBOUT, or you can check us out on Instagram at NOMTOMBOUT_radio, Nomtombout Radio. If you want to follow me personally, I don't know why you would want to do that. I don't do anything. You can check me out on IG at Blaze6513, BLAZESIX513. Check out the Type-ish hoodies and the T-shirts. Man, I got them, and you know you say it. You know you say it. So go ahead, holla at me and get you one on any of those platforms. Until next time, this has been the Nomtombout Radio Show. Nomtombout, yeah. Bye-bye.
Good way to say it. Grab that.
talking you with me. You looking like my destiny. Stay. Girl, wanna love you. So much wanna show you. So much I can teach you. Really wanna reach you. Wanna reciprocate, won't feed you. Give you all I got to give. Let's do it like our parents did. Girl, wanna love you. Girl, you know I won't touch you. Always gonna love you. Never ever gonna run. Always wanna love you. Always forever and love. Ooh, girl, you got that body back. Got me looking at my phone like she texting back. Stay woke. Keep your mind on your money and your third eye on the prize. Stay woke. Ear to the street while the television telling lies. Stay woke. They might say they care about you, but they don't. You can't wait for them to say you, cause they won't. You thinking it's alright, but you wrong. Look, listen, stay woke.
And stay woke. This is for all of my people ready, willing, and able. It's hard to keep your mind stable with all of these false fables. Politicians acting like their name was Clark Gable. Spitting the same old yaddy yaddy, lame-o. Saying they hold you down and then lead you into a tornado. I can't get down with that. You the same one told me that the world was flat. Told me and my people that our skin was black. Flooded drugs in the hood so the pen could stack. Fuck that, we only dealing with facts. You wishy-washy, wearing too many hats. Killing animals because you got them out of their habitat. Love to keep the ones with melanin locked up or in a trap. All my real people know that's why. Take that piece of the pie, but you can have it back.
Stay woke. Keep your mind on your money and your third eye on the prize. Stay woke. Ear to the street while the television telling lies. Stay woke. They might say they care about you, but they don't. You can't wait for them to say you, cause they won't. You thinking it's alright, but you wrong. Look, listen, stay woke.
I wake and rise like the solar, cool as a polar. Keep it brushed by the bed to knock the BS off my shoulders. As I get out on this grind, try to focus on the climb. Realize over time, I'm my own soul controller while I'm dodging these boulders. Holding my cojones on myself, I place the onus on my own worst opponent, the bonus. Now that I know the enemy, focus my energies on my weaker tendencies. With yourself, you gotta have an honest, hard conversation that'll lead you to some doubt and some deep contemplation. That's the moment that my eyes saw the situation differently. Focus on tomorrow with the ear to my history. Lessons learned from mistakes that it burn. Time heals old scars, put the ashes in the urn. Some things you gotta earn. Money and respect, keep your eyes open wide and your antenna on connect.
Stay woke. Keep your mind on your money and your third eye on the prize. Stay woke. Ear to the street while the television telling lies. Stay woke. They might say they care about you, but they don't. You can't wait for them to say you, cause they won't. You thinking it's alright, but you wrong. Look, listen, stay woke.
You got to cope and stay woke. Know how to cloak when the camouflage and float above all this mess like a hawk with GPS. 1, 2, 3, ABC, NBC, and CBS. You and me got G.O.D. chemistry above the rest. The best who can go through and pass any test. My chest full of new poo, now eat the gas and flesh. A modern day Mr. Magoo, they know the X. Greater than and less than, join together forms an X-Man. Best man, finesse man, bringing news like Les Ness man. Good through your hoods, town cities, believe in stressing. If you could, you would stick around, receiving with X-Man. Perceiving and trusting. See, I've been woke ever since I was born. Mount the sacred cow to know how to transform.
Stay woke. Keep your mind on your money and your third eye on the prize. Stay woke. Ear to the street while the television telling lies. Stay woke. They might say they care about you, but they don't. You can't wait for them to say you, cause they won't. You thinking it's alright, but you wrong. Look, listen, stay woke.